You know what's funny? I bet you Gal Gadot is so relieved that she is not receiving the brunt of the hailstorm of attacks from fans, and that Rachel Zegler is. She is now connected to even more drama concerning this film. The original Snow White's director's son has come out and has something to say. Let's check this out. A new live-action version of Disney's Snow White is on its way, but not everyone is happy. That rhyme, don't need to play hate the game. Bars, says it right there. In an interview with The Telegraph, David Hand, the son of one of the co-directors of the 1937's animated Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, 1937, and evidently so, who also named David Hand, slammed the new movie as lacking respect for the original. A trailer has not yet been released for the film, which is slated to be released in 2024 and is directed by Mark Webb and co-written by Greta Gerwig. Rachel Zegler, who will play Snow White opposite Gal Gadot as the evil queen in the film, previously said they updated the character to be more independent. Hand, 91, told The Telegraph, "It's a whole different concept and I just totally disagree with it. He called it a disgrace, and that the live-action treatment is trying to do something new with something that was such a great success earlier." Correct. I believe that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. All you really have to do is do it live action, get all the right personalities to play all the characters, and you're good to go. That's what a live action, movie is supposed to do of a beloved animation or cartoon series or whatever else it is that you're into, whether it's video games or a book. You get a live action movie, get as close to the source material as possible. Their thoughts are just so radical now. They change the stories, they change the thought process of the characters. They're making up new woke things, and I'm just not into any of that, Hand said. Very well said, sir. I find it, quite frankly, a bit insulting what they have done with some of the classic films. There's no respect for what Disney did and what my dad did. I think Walt and him would be turning in their graves. That says it right there. I tell you, if you are the child of someone who, when I think of someone who's kind of like involved in their father's work, I think of like Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter. And, I know there's stuff that her and the estate, I guess, agree with and don't agree with things. And it's like, you just want your father's work represented properly, So it's like, come on, it's just like, you don't have to change it like this. It is absolutely ridiculous. And Dinklage added even more, gas to the fire, with not wanting dwarves. And it's just like, so they had one dwarf there. So I guess that's six dwarves that are out of a job that could be working. You know what I mean? This whole thing is just, this whole situation is really messed up. It's the lengths that these companies are going to totally eradicate the original works. It's horrible. I heard about these books that, companies are changing too. They got people going through and making sure that they're sensitive to people. Like, people want to read the original works and understand the context in which they were written, the time in which they were written. Whether these things are offensive or not, the history needs to be preserved properly. Yeah, go ahead and make these other ones if you want for all the extra sensitives. But I know when I was coming up, certain books you had to read, and, they let us know that, it was written at a different time. So you're going to see words in here that, may shock you, but this is when it was written, and, you have to understand, and, I got that. I personally didn't find them offensive, but I got the gist of understanding what I was reading and why. A rep for Walt Disney Company did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. I'm sure I'd probably have an AI write up a good rebuttal. Zegler 22 told people at the D23 Expo back in September 22 how the new movie will differ from the original. Most of my character does not work for today's audience. Very false. Very false. Absolutely does work for today's audience. I'll just say she said at the time, we did a really deep dive into fixing and making a modern woman out of Snow White. Do you know what's so ridiculous about this? She doesn't get saved by the prince. That's my best Gal Gadot. She doesn't get saved by the prince. Kal-El, no! And I love Gal Gadot. I really do like her. So, there is nothing, and the mag means nothing, wrong with wanting to fall in love. Do you know that men and women want to fall in love? Hey, let me tell you something. If I had an evil stepfather that was mad at me being so pretty, and he gave me a poison apple and I fell asleep, I pray that a bad chick come kiss me on the lips to wake me up. I pray that it happened. Matter of fact, do a reenactment for you. Babe, come here, please. I love you. Hurry as fast as possible. Okay? Now, continue with this until she get up here. To that end, the West Side Story actress said the filmmakers are set out to make a new version of the character. I think she's 13 in the original cartoon, so we started there and said no, she's 18 in this one. Doesn't make any sense still. Actually, though, in the cartoon, she seemed older than 13. She did seem like she might have been early 20s or something like this. Yeah. She's a bit more... Okay, let me get back to what I was saying. If I was out from a poison apple, I pray to God that a pretty princess comes and kisses me on the lips to wake me up. Hey, did you save me? Let's get married. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. There's nothing wrong with that. Did you see how happy I was? Did you see how happy I was? Nothing wrong with that. Disney, stop playing with us. So, Zegler continued, she's also living in grief. I mean, there was a lot of complex emotion that was decided to deep dive into and understanding what it's like to be a teenager on top of that. The actress added, it was really incredible to watch the cartoon and see there's no more waiting for a man. It's like, who paid you? I guess Disney paid her to talk like that, which is really nice. So a little bit more agency. We really see the journey she goes on to become really just and wonderful leader. You know, I don't know what this whole super independent movement is all about. Men and women need each other. We need each other. And it is the combo. It is that combination of feminine energy and masculine energy that can make us so great. And they just do all this independent. Yeah, certain things that women do better than men, and certain things that men do better than women. Okay? We are protectors. For the most part, we are protectors of the family, the whole family unit, our towns, our cities, our leaders. We are the protectors. There's nothing wrong with a man saving you. Good Lord. And a man can be saved in a movie, but that's not the name of this. This is Snow White. In recent years, Disney has done various live-action reimaginings of its classic animated films, modernizing the portrayals of its heroines. For example, Beauty and the Beast. Okay, so yeah, I still have to see Beauty and the Beast and Mulan and Cinderella. I haven't seen them, so I did like The Lion King, though. I really did like The Lion King. I thought it was pretty good, except for one particular lion. That needed more work. And other than that, I was fine that they weren't expressive, because I know the animals don't normally smile or emote anyway. But yeah, I know they don't talk either. But I was fine just because, I knew that, so it didn't bother me. Anyway, my God, I don't see this going away. If I was Disney, I'd scrap the whole thing, or recast and reshoot it. Get 7 dwarfs, okay? Get a German girl, okay? I guess you can keep Gal Gadot. Just stick to the story. Stick to the source material as close as possible as what they did in 1937. Because I know all this, the stories are, like, from what I understand, a lot of these fairy tales, they're a little darker anyway, the original ones. But if you're trying to stick with what Disney did, stick as close to the source material as possible. It had a good ending. It did. It had a good ending. Her falling off the thing and the rock falling. That was good. Lightning strike. Oh, that was good, man. 10 million subscribers. Woo!